There are days when your house isn't messy, but it doesn't feel like a mess either. Everything in your house seems okay, but you still find yourself constantly fiddling, not because you don't have enough time, but because everything feels unfinished, not completely messy, but also not going anywhere. You go through your day with the same routine, and doing mind thinking, eyes darting around to see what's left undone. The truth is that a tidy house doesn't just come from cleaning, but from redesigning what's going on each day. Your schedule, your stuff, your mind all need a little tweaking to make it easier to breathe. Not to try harder, but to live smarter. So this video isn't a list of tips. I'm going to share small ways to rearrange your space and habits that will help you live in a home that's neat, manageable. Here's what I've tried, and it works. Not only does my house feel lighter, but my mind feels less dizzy. I think a lot of people are stuck in this just enough to get by state and deserve a practical, non-overwhelming solution. And if you're looking for a simpler way to live in your own home, come with me. These small changes can make a bigger difference than you think. Now let's start it. In this part, I'll share how you can redesign your daily routine so that cleaning becomes lighter, clearer, and less of a chore. The number one thing is to schedule cleaning. You don't have to clean the whole house every day. Just know what day it is. Monday laundry, Wednesday bathroom, Friday general cleaning. When you break it down by day, you don't have to keep everything in your head and you don't have to wait until it's too messy to do. Housework then becomes less of a battle and more of a routine. A regular cleaning schedule doesn't just make your house tidier. It also helps you make fewer decisions, feel less overwhelmed, and most importantly, keeps you feeling in control of your space. Number 2 is to clean lightly every day. One of the easiest ways to keep your home tidy without too much effort is to not let it pile up. Instead of waiting until the end of the day to clean everything up, you can do it in small increments a few minutes at a time, spread throughout the day. For example, after breakfast, wipe down the table and collect the cups. Before dinner, adjust the sofa cushions. Before bed, go through the living room and put away a few small items. Each task only takes 2-3 minutes, but these small steps will keep the space from going too far into the clutter zone. By doing this, you no longer feel like you're cleaning. You're just keeping your home in a steady, orderly, and light state, and not letting yourself get overwhelmed by everything at once. The less you have to deal with, the more energy you have to enjoy your space, instead of just running after it. Number 3 is to give each item a home. Do you always have to find things every day, sometimes just a few hair clips or a comb that takes you more than half an hour? The solution here is not a perfect drawer or a neat cabinet by color. What you need is for each item in the house to have a clear place to return to, because what makes you tired when cleaning is not the amount of things, but not knowing where to put them. Or each time you look for them, you have to guess. Where did I put this last time? When an item has a fixed place, you don't need to remember. No one else in the house needs to ask. Everything is naturally in order. The hair clips on the nightstand. The scissors are always in the drawer. The TV remote is always in the small basket next to the sofa. The shopping bag is always hanging behind the door. Such small decisions, when repeated regularly, will free up a lot of mental energy for you. The next part is to optimize and automate with technology. In fact, no one wants to spend all day just running around the house. If you can use a tool to save a few dozen minutes, it is not only saving time, but also regaining peace of mind. Number 1 is to let technology do the repetitive tasks for you. Housework is already time-consuming, and if you have to repeat the same actions every day, it can sometimes get boring. Technology is not here to make your house luxurious, but to free you from unnecessary, repetitive tasks. When simple things are automated, you can spend your energy on more important things for yourself, your family, and even those rare moments of rest. It could be a robot vacuum cleaner that can keep your floors clean without you having to lift a finger every day. A washing machine, a dishwasher, or even a rice cooker. All of these can help you take care of some of the chores you used to do. Instead of trying to do everything yourself, give yourself permission to let machines do some of the work. It's not lazy, it's a smart way to free up more time for yourself and the things you really want to do. Number 2 is timer and remote control. One of the features that is often overlooked in home appliances is the timer or phone connection, but if you know how to take advantage of it, it will help you save a lot of effort. For example, you can set the washing machine to run at midnight so that in the morning you just have to hang the clothes out to dry, or turn on the dishwasher while you are out. And when you come home, the dishes are clean. Many people often think that this is just an extra feature, but in fact, it is these small conveniences that turn housework into something that runs automatically instead of always having you there. And when you don't have to keep an eye on the time or worry about forgetting to do something, you are also less stressed. Number 3 is smart energy saving. You may be worried that using technology devices regularly is very expensive, but you might not expect that another benefit of optimizing with technology is that you can manage energy more effectively. Instead of worrying about high bills every month, you can completely take advantage of off-peak hours to run the washing machine or dishwasher. Just this small change can significantly reduce costs without affecting your daily life. In addition, there are now many portable power storage devices, such as charging stations or high-capacity backup batteries that can power machines in the house. This is especially useful if you live in an apartment that cannot install a solar power system, or simply want to be more proactive in managing electricity. Technology not only saves you energy, but also helps you better control your time and costs. This way, you can keep your home running smoothly while also maintaining a balance in your family budget. The next part is meal management. Meals are the heart of the home, but they are also often the place where you feel the most pressure. Every day, the question, what to eat today, can take up more of your time and energy than cooking. Without a plan, you will easily fall into a situation where you are short on ingredients or buy too much and forget about it in the fridge. So in this part, I will share simple ways to make cooking more streamlined and clearer, not to turn you into a perfect chef, but to help you reduce the stress of thinking about meals every day. The number 1 is to plan a weekly menu. One of the simplest but most transformative ways to do this in the kitchen is to plan a menu in advance. Just spend 15-25 minutes each weekend writing down what you're going to cook for the coming week. And you'll find that it takes a lot of the pressure off of standing in the kitchen without knowing what to cook. This not only helps you go to the market faster, buy the right things, but also limits the situation of excess or food forgotten in the fridge. You'll also find it easier to maintain a nutritional balance instead of rotating around just a few familiar dishes. The menu doesn't need to be complicated. Just write down what main dish to eat on which day plus a simple side dish. That's enough to help you step into the kitchen with a clear mind, no longer flustered by small last-minute decisions. Number 2 is to cook once, eat twice. A great time-saving tip in the kitchen is to cook a little extra for the next meal. This not only reduces the pressure of having to think of a new dish every day, but also helps you make better use of ingredients and less likely to rush to the market. For example, if you cook curry today, you can cook a little more to eat with rice the next day, or turn it into a filling for bread or paratha. Or when cooking rice, you can leave it and stir-fry it with vegetables the next day to make a completely different dish. A pot of soup, a tray of grilled chicken, can all be used to make a meal if you are proactive from the beginning. This does not mean eating the same dish over and over again until you get bored. As long as you know how to change it up a little from one time in the kitchen, you can have 2 different meals. Easy, economical, and still maintain the richness of the family menu. Number 3 is to set a theme for each day of the week. If you find cooking repetitive and boring, a very simple way to refresh is to set a theme for each day. This turns daily meals into a habit with highlights instead of just an obligation. For example, Monday can be a day to cook a light vegetarian dish. In the middle of the week, you try a more elaborate dish like pho or bun bo. On the weekends, save it for fun food like grilled dishes or homemade pizza with the whole family. Just a few fixed rhythms like that will make planning the menu much easier, and the meal will also become more exciting. Not only will you reduce the need to think too much, but you will also create more anticipation for the whole family. A simple meal but with a theme sometimes brings a more special feeling than a sophisticated one. Number 4 is prepare snap meals. There are days when you don't have the energy to think of a recipe, let alone cook. That's when snap ingredients come to the rescue. Keep a few quick, easy-to-prepare basics in your kitchen: a packet of instant noodles, some frozen vegetables, a few types of lentils, or a jar of curry paste. These won't replace a full meal, but they'll help you have a warm meal on hand instead of having to order takeout. A simple pot of soup, a quick stir-fry, or a hot sandwich sometimes. That's exactly what you and your family need on those days when you're too tired. Having snap solutions in your kitchen not only saves you from the stress of not knowing what to eat when you're hungry, but it also gives you a sense of security. There's always an option waiting for you at home. The next part will be about how to be flexible between the traditional and modern worlds. Women today carry traditional habits from their families while adapting to the busy pace of modern life. This sometimes makes you feel like you have to live in two worlds at the same time. Between keeping the house and finding balance for yourself, many people easily fall into a state of overload. This part will share ways you can connect the two, retain traditional values when needed, but also allow yourself to apply modern changes to make things easier. Number 1 is to learn to delegate. One of the old ideas that makes many women exhausted is, I have to do all the housework. But the truth is, the house belongs to the whole family, and everyone can participate. The earlier you delegate, the more everyone will get into the habit of keeping the routine together. Even young children can start with very simple tasks. A 3-year-old can learn to put away his toys after playing. An older child can help you put the clothes in the washing machine or clear the table after a meal. These small tasks not only reduce your burden, but also help your child understand that responsibility for the living space is shared, not just yours alone. When you know how to delegate, you not only lighten your load, but also instill in your child the values of discipline and responsibility. And the house from then on is no longer a burden for one person, but becomes a place where everyone contributes to building. Number 2 is communicate openly when you feel overwhelmed. There are days when you feel like you're racing and never catching up. Picking up the kids' shopping, cooking, cleaning, it all piles up and you end up exhausted. Many people have a habit of silently enduring, but the truth is you don't have to carry it all alone. Choose to talk it out rather than stewing in it. A gentle conversation with your husband, kids, or any family member can make a big difference. When you share how you're feeling, set clear expectations, and listen to each other, your family will understand and be more willing to share responsibilities. Sometimes just an extra pair of hands every day can make a difference. Not only will your home be tidier, but your mind will be less stressed because you know you're not fighting alone. Number 3 is to teach your child to take responsibility for their own space. One of the most important lessons you can teach your child is that their living space is their responsibility. If you keep cleaning up after them, they will think that it's a mess and someone else will take care of it. But when you let them do it themselves, they will learn that being neat is not a requirement from you, but a part of living in a house. For example, instead of you cleaning the toy room, let your child clean up at least once a week. It may not be neat at first, but gradually they will get used to being organized. Similarly, your child can fold their own blankets, put their clothes in the laundry basket, or help you set the table. These are not helping you, but rather letting them understand that everyone has a part in keeping the house in order. When your child learns to take responsibility, not only will your burden be lighter, but you'll also find that the home becomes a place where the whole family works together, not just mom's job. Number 4 is schedule self-care. Many women put their own needs on the back burner and focus on taking care of others. The problem is, when you don't have the energy, it's hard to care for your family with the calm and love you want. Treat self-care like a fixed appointment, one that can't be skipped. It could be 20 minutes of reading a walk, learning a new skill, or simply sitting quietly with a hot cup of tea. Put it on your calendar, just like you would any other household chore. When you allow yourself time to be alone, you not only recharge, but you also feel more balanced. And that will reflect into your home. The air feels lighter and the chores feel easier to breathe. Number 5 is to embrace imperfection. One of the biggest pressures that can make housework frustrating is comparison. You see those shiny homes on Instagram or Pinterest and wonder why yours can't be like that. But the truth is, a living space doesn't have to be perfect to be enjoyable. Your home just needs to be livable, comfortable, and reflect the rhythm of your family. A few misaligned pillows, a pile of unfinished books on the table, or a few toys scattered around. None of these things detract from the value of your home. On the contrary, they show that real people live here. Focus on progress, not perfection. Every little change, a neater cabinet, a more breathable kitchen corner, is a step forward. And when you learn to accept that your home will no longer be a measure of self-criticism, but a place where you can be yourself. Life is busy, and sometimes you feel like you're running around without having time to catch your breath. But that doesn't mean you're weak or not good enough. It just means the world is putting too much demand on you, and you deserve a lighter way of living. Hopefully, today's sharing will help you feel like your home is no longer a burden, but a place to nurture you again. With just a few small changes, you can find yourself walking into your home feeling more comfortable and lighter. If there's anything in this video that you want to try right away, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your experience. In the next video, I'll share how to organize your home with someone with ADHD with simple tips. And if you want more suggestions to help your home and mind become more organized, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. See you there.